Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Alright, so let me apologize. That's what this is about. I'm apologizing for hurting anyone's feelings that I'm about to hurt in this video. This is not hate speech. I'm going to use videos from YouTube to point out the things that I believe is racist, that our illustrious leader, who's still our leader until January the 20th, the red-headed step troll in charge, has done, that I believe is racist and disrespectful and unhonorable. So I got my military blouse and my dog tags, but I think the shortest video is the one I should show first. I don't think that anyone who hasn't served, and I didn't serve the way I wanted to serve. If I was still young and healthy and didn't have this hip replacement, I would have never left the Army. And it wasn't like I really had much of a choice, because I hit my day one restart and then they hit me on the plane home. Simple as that. I have an honorable discharge for failing to qualify with my rifle. In other words, I can't shoot worth shit. Soldier who can't shoot, liability. But we found out why later, which is why I had this hip replacement. For those who have not seen it, there's my scar. Alright? Be all you can be. It's not just a saying, it is a way of life. Army strong is not just a saying, it is a way of life. And I'm still a soldier in here. And all soldiers, once a soldier, always a soldier. That's not just a Power Ranger quote. That's a fact. Once a soldier, always a soldier. And yeah, we have to transition back to normal life. We have to find the switch to cut off everything we've been taught. That switch does not exist. But when you have not served and no one in your family is served, you have no right to call any soldier, good, bad, or ugly, a loser and a sucker. That's my first grievance. Then the racist stuff will come. So, The View and TYT, the Young Turks, they're the longest two, so I'm not going to really show them. But this video and a couple of other ones are going to touch on the things that I strongly believe are racist and also insensitive. Now, you don't have to like me, and you don't have to accept anything I say. But I lost a few viewers here because they are Trump supporters, and they're always welcome to come back. I got nothing against you for that. I have a problem with your moral compass, just like you have a problem with my moral compass for voting for Biden. And I've already explained in the other video in the prep show on why I voted for Biden. Because I will never follow a racist into the bowels of hell unless I had to go save someone that was family or another soldier. But as far as having a racist as my leader leading me into hell, you see my skin tone, right? There's probably a reason why he's leading me into hell. Okay? The key to that was the word racist leader. You don't have to believe that he's racist. And if you are Asian and you're watching this and you don't think that him telling the Chinese reporter to go ask China or how much danger he's put Chinese people in with the words Kung Flu or the Chinese virus, he just hasn't reached your Asian yet. That's all to that. Native Americans are biologically Asian, and he's had a problem with Asians and Native Americans since 1993. Which video I've showed you guys 1,000 times where he went to fight in court over casinos. Why do I have to pay high taxes and Native Americans don't? Well, no one told America that this was our country. We came in and we stole it. And yes, some of my ancestors are Native American. There are no saints here. Native Americans fought each other over territory. That's not a lie. Native Americans also had slaves, the fallen tribes. But the Trail of Tears put all that shit on lock. So try to remember that the only real Americans were the ones that were here first. 10,000 years, 20,000 years before the Europeans set foot here. This was their world. And we took it from them and put them on rocks. And then we came up with a plan called Kill the Indian, Save the Man. Chop off his hair, give him a Beatles haircut, teach him English, destroy his language, rape, slaughter, kill the women, teach the women and children our ways versus the native ways. Try to remember that, but this isn't about them. We're going to go with this racist crap, and you're either going to be really mad or you're going to be really happy. I'm hoping to teach you something, not to turn you against this man. I can't do that. No one can turn you against your idols but you. But I will tell you, you should probably pick better idols. Here's where we have him losers and suckers. And he denies it, as the byline says right there. But I don't have the right to question your morals, right?
Furious reaction today after claims that President Trump called fallen American heroes losers and suckers. A Twitter page titled "Not a Loser" is trending. My grandfather was killed by a landmine while freeing Europe, one veteran's family writes. He was 29. He was neither a sucker nor a loser. My dad served during Vietnam. Not only did he serve, he volunteered. Most definitely not a loser. Former Army Airborne Ranger, Bronze Star recipient, deceased. My brother, not a loser. The uproar comes after a new Atlantic magazine report about President Trump's visit to France in 2018 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. Trump was scheduled to pay his respects at a venerated U.S. military cemetery where more than 2,000 American servicemen are buried. But he bailed out. The reason given at the time was that rain had grounded Trump's helicopter, and the Secret Service did not want him traveling by motorcade. His then Chief of Staff, John Kelly, a retired general, attended a wreath laying instead. The Atlantic now claims Trump told his senior staff, "Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers." It also says Trump referred to the fallen soldiers as suckers for getting killed.
It's a fake story, and it's a disgrace that they're allowed to do it.
A fuming president denied the claims today.
It was a terrible thing that somebody could say the kind of things, and especially to me, because I've done more for the military than almost anybody else.
The Atlantic report.
Let me stop this here because I'm going to play devil's advocate. It could be a fake story. But the audacity to say it could be a fake story from me defending this man is bullshit. I don't believe it's a fake story because, in case y'all forgot, where is he always at? Tweet, motherfuckers. He's on Twitter all the time. Not just for fun. He's there, whether y'all want to acknowledge or not. Cool. So why am I going to play the rest? I'm not. I just wanted y'all to understand how this feels as a veteran, hearing that our president who didn't serve thinks that veterans are losers and suckers. Which fucking sucks. And then everything that he said about John McCain. Y'all all seen that no matter which news you were on. Whether it was CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC. And which is exactly why when they went for that vote, John McCain did this. The thumb down that will be remembered in infamy. And then the things that he said about him before he died. And then he died within a week of that. Come on, people. You may not like what I'm saying. But, you know, this is who you follow. This is who you like. No. Let's keep it real. This is who you like. Now this is the most damning one for me. But I'm going to play that last before I play the view. We're going to do this one. Because it's 2 minutes. And we're not going to play all of it. But we're going to play enough of it. And this is CBS News.
To a raucous campaign rally in North Carolina last night. His supporters chanted, "Send her back," echoing the president's racist tweet that the 4 women of color should go back to the countries.
I remember when this happened, and it was just last year in 2019.
And what did you learn?
Well, Tony, this rally in a state that the president narrowly
Let's skip
won
ahead
in
to the 4
was an
black
attempt for the
women
president to
that
test
he's
out
talking
how
about.
this controversial approach is and the crowd's
Y'all
chants
remember
in
her?
a series of tweets last night. She
Oh,
quoted
let me make it big
Angela
enough for you to
saying,
see.
"You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still,
Woman of
like
color,
air,
who
I'll
just like
rise."
Kamala Harris had the
has a
same stuff.
history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
In an exclusive
Now,
interview with Gayle King
he
this
could be
week,
right about her being
Laura
anti-Semitic.
Kessler asked comments that some have
Half the
criticized
politicians
as
are.
anti-Semitic.
It's just
Would you like
disguised.
people to- would you like to make it clear?
Not all 4 of
that you
those
are
are
not
women of
anti-Semitic?
color.
Oh, certainly.
But I guess that's not racist,
Would you
right?
like to make that clear?
No,
Yeah,
it's not
and then
racist. But it's
nothing
women of
I
color.
said
She's a Muslim and she's darker
was
skinned.
meant for that purpose.
The president kept up his attacks on the so-called squad.
All of them.
Presley. Cortez. Somebody said that's not her name. I don't have time to go with 3 different names. We'll call her Cortez.
The president is highlighting the 4 liberal freshman lawmakers in an effort to make them the faces of the Democratic Party.
And you women, y'all also voted for this guy. Look at how he just treats women in general. Take their color out. They're still women.
Supporters we spoke to before the rally agree with the president's approach.
And we're going to not share that because I don't want to make other people look racist. Because just because you're a Trump supporter does not make you a legitimate racist. I want to make that 1,000% clear. No. But if you're supporting his racist rhetoric, does it or doesn't it make you racist? This one's 4 minutes long. It's from MSNBC, who does not like Trump. So I could be biased about that, but I'm not because I don't even watch MSNBC. I don't even know what damn channel that is.
Long list of racially incendiary remarks from Donald Trump. Here's just a few of his insensitive comments, many coming after he started his campaign for the nation's highest office. Back when he announced his candidacy, the day he announced his candidacy in 2015, he made inflammatory remarks about Mexican immigrants.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
All right, of course, he was talking about Haiti. According to the New York Times, he complained that the 15,000 Haitian immigrants who received visas in 2017 all have AIDS. In that very same meeting, the Times reports, he said that once the 40,000 Nigerian immigrants given visas arrived in the U.S., they would never go back to their huts. The White House denies this report. During the presidential election, Donald Trump referred to a Gold Star mother, saying, "Look at his wife. She was standing there, just standing there. She had nothing to say. Maybe she wasn't allowed to have anything to say," implying that she was being silenced because of the family's Muslim faith. Candidate Trump also went after a U.S. district judge who presided over fraud allegations against Trump University, citing the judge's Mexican heritage.
We're building a wall. He's a Mexican. We're building a wall between here and Mexico. The answer is he is giving us very unfair rulings.
All right, at a White House ceremony very recently honoring Navajo code talkers, the president used a nickname for Senator Elizabeth Warren. Senator Elizabeth Warren that many people may have found offensive.
You were here long before any of us were here. Although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas.
All right, early last year, he asked journalist White House correspondent April Ryan if she could help him set up a meeting with the Congressional Black Caucus.
Are you going to include the Congressional Black Caucus and the Congressional
Hispanic
Caucus?
Well, I would. I tell you what, do you want to set up the meeting? Do you want to set up the meeting?
No.
Are they friends of yours?
Just a reporter.
No, set up the meeting.
I know some.
And during a presidential
I guess that's not
debate,
racist
he
either.
generalized the lives of minority communities.
African Americans, Hispanics are living in hell because it's so dangerous. You walk down the street, you get shot.
Allie, just one more time, how stunning it was that when an African-American female reporter asked the president about the Congressional Black Caucus, he looked at her
Do you know them? Can you
and
set up
said,
a meeting?
"Do you know them?" Assuming because they're all black, why don't you set that meeting up?
Right, so
that
this
takes
is
your breath away.
And so many of these things do, which is why if there are some people who are still surprised at this, and there are many media outlets, particularly conservative media outlets today, saying, hey, this is no big deal. This is how people talk. Well, this is the President of the United States.
Allie, it's not just that. We've heard from conservative media outlets.
Now, we know, in all fairness, let me stop these people from talking real quick. We know in all fairness, and I'm going to play this fairly, Joe Biden did the same damn thing when he said, if you don't vote for me, then you're not black. But Joe Biden only did that like one time. Look at all the shit that I've been showing you so far. Yeah, I said it. Joe Biden did that shit one time. If you don't vote for me, then I guess you're not black. Now, he said that shit. I'm not going to deny that. I didn't vote for him because I'm black. I voted for him because Elizabeth Warren wasn't there. Pete wasn't there. And Andrew Yang dropped out. And I think Andrew Yang dropped out first before Pete. And then Pete dropped out before Elizabeth Warren, along with Amy such and such. And those other women that I showed you who also were running. Everybody was running. They weren't running anywhere, but they were all running to become the leader of the free world. And what they're saying is bad, but Joe Biden ate his fire.
Maybe saying something that people think. Well, guess what? People might think things that are absolutely wrong.
Right.
And they may be base, ignorant beliefs. It doesn't mean you're a real American, but it does mean that the highest office in the land should be something we aspire to, should be what sets the bar. And you brought all of these points that have been brought up since the president was on the campaign trail. You didn't go beforehand. President Trump, the Central Park Five. Central Park, President Trump, birtherism. President Trump, lawsuits, housing lawsuits associated to discrimination in some of his real estate dealings. So this goes back so much further than that. So whether or not President Trump used this specific word, I'm not going to use it, is beside the point.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC.
Now,
Thanks for watching MSNBC.
as I said, now I don't have to go do the Pocahontas one because it did it on here. It covered a lot of stuff. This is where TYT.
Have a conversation with Bob Woodward.
We're going to come to that last. This was the Pocahontas one.
Although we have a representative in
Congress
Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas. But you know what? I like you because you are special. You are special people. You are really
How do y'all not
people.
find that offensive?
And I have to, from the heart, from the absolute heart, we appreciate what you've done, how you've done it, the bravery that you displayed, and the love that you have for your country. Tom, I would say that's as good as it.
Now, we're not going to go through that whole BS again. Now, this one is the one that you must see because I have Chinese friends. And I took Chinese Kung Fu. And I love my Kung Fu. Which is limitless to have nothing to do with this video at all. And the one in the corner just showed you her face. That one there. So,
Yeah, go ahead,
tell me
please.
if you don't think this is racist.
Said many times that the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if everyday Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world. And maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm telling
I should
you,
ask
I'm not
China?
saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question
That's
like
not
that.
a nasty
Please
question.
go ahead.
Why does it matter?
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead in the back, please.
I have two
No,
questions.
it's okay.
But
We'll
you
go over
pointed
here.
to me. I have two questions, Mr. President.
Next, please.
But you didn't.
Look
you
how he
called on
treats
me.
women.
I did, and you didn't respond, and now I'm calling on
Sorry, I just
the
wanted
young
to,
lady in the back, please.
I just wanted to let my colleague finish.
Okay.
But can I ask you a
Ladies
question?
and gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Look at how he treats women. I would never do that to a woman, man. There has to be a limit to how much of this guy you're willing to follow. But yet, y'all don't think that I'm in the wrong for believing this dude is a racist and a sexist. No. Hell, I'm a little bit of a pervert myself, but I know how to fucking behave. I know how to talk to people, with the exception of me just dropping that F-bomb. I own it. Now, here's where they really got into it, and that's 8 minutes, so we're not going to watch that. And this is her again, abruptly ending the briefing. You know, it's just straight foul at how that happened. You know, that didn't need to happen. And this didn't need to happen with the Pocahontas one. Now the View is 4:43, and Young Turks is 6 minutes. Okay, so one of them was 10 minutes. I don't know which one that was. I don't want to watch that one. Okay, we are going to watch that one. That's going to be the last one, because that was from like 2015. And I love The View, so if you want to say I'm a little biased on that, I'll take it. It's 4 minutes and 43 seconds. You're going to endure this, because this is about the Central Park 5. But, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm going to piss you all off. We're going to give it to Whoopi and let her take it away.
In the Central Park jogging rape case. They were incarcerated between 6 and 14 years before DNA evidence exonerated them.
What was
and
that word?
The courts awarded them $41 million for this miscarriage of justice. Does he think it's time to maybe offer up an apology? Take a look.
You have people on both sides of that. They admitted their guilt.
if you look at Linda Fairstein and if you look at some of the prosecutors, they think that the city should never have settled that case. So we'll leave it at that.
Well, here's the thing. DNA evidence does not lie. It's one of the things that we know. DNA doesn't lie. So regardless of what you thought it was, once you find out that DNA has exonerated them, you don't think you owe them an apology for asking for the death penalty? Had they gotten it, they would not have lived long enough for DNA to exonerate them.
Yeah.
I feel just, there's a lot of things that lie in the world. DNA ain't one of them.
The actual perp confessed.
Yes,
And he had raped another girl that same day in the park. In jail, correct? He
confessed to it.
Yeah, serial rapist and DNA.
But I don't hear Donald Trump calling for the death penalty for him because he's white, isn't he?
Spanish. He's Hispanic.
Now I'm going to stop there, because yes, I do love Joy Behar and Whoopi, but I just wanted to give y'all that. See, me being Cherokee, black, and white, that affects me on every level. But again, y'all don't think I have the right to be a little bit angry when stuff like that flies out of his mouth. Why don't you go ask China? Now, what if she was Native American and the COVID originated on Cherokee land, or on Navajo land, or Sioux, or Cheyenne, or Seminole, or Powhatan land? Wouldn't it be kind of fracked up if he says, well, it started here in America, why don't you go ask your chief what the hell they plan on doing with that? How did you guys get off the reservation to infect us? Don't you think that would be kind of a little bit more racist? And he looked at her. Clearly she was Asian. And yeah, sadly, she is Chinese. Let me rephrase that. Proudly, she is Chinese. But he just took it amongst himself. She could have been from Vietnam. She could have been Korean. But the first damn thing he comes out of his mouth is, why don't you ask China? Then he wouldn't let the young lady behind her talk. He mistreats women. He's bloody racist. And you're mad at me for pointing this shit out. No, and like I said, I'll play fair. Biden said some shit that was racist. If you don't vote for me, I guess you're not black. Let me see. Who else we know that was racist that hasn't recovered, that lost her job? Paula Deen. And Paula Deen wasn't even a racist. It was just something that she said because she grew up in the South. Who else lost their job for something that they didn't know or lack of knowledge of? Was Megyn Kelly. And I'm sorry, I love NBC, but I don't think they should have fired Megyn Kelly. I really don't. That's just my personal opinion. Sometimes lack of knowledge is lack of knowledge. But y'all can't sit there and say, well, he shouldn't apologize to those 5 young kids that did not rape the girl, were proven innocent, and they were black. So when I talk to you black people who watch this channel, and I call you an Uncle Tom, is because he doesn't really like black people. But if you're and Omarosa, she even said that he doesn't like black people. And she was with him on the show that I didn't watch called The Apprentice. But she was on the news talking about it. I'm not going to hunt for all that. We're going to go to TYT now, so I can get this crap off my computer and go to the second part of this video. So this is the Young Turks. If you don't watch them or you don't know who they are, you should probably check them out. They cover a lot of stuff that's racist, and they don't have any affiliates with the news like NBC, ABC, CBS, or Fox, or MSNBC, or CNN. They're their complete own thing. And 9 times out of 10, they have no bias towards anyone. They just cover what's up. This is the most recent, I think, because it's September 2020. So that's like 2.5 months ago. But, you know, you have to look. I can't prove to you that he's a racist unless I show you what I believe to be racist. But you don't have to believe that it's not racist because, as I said before, racism only works when it's your race that's on the chopping block. When it's someone else's race, if it doesn't affect you or your friends of that race, no one really gives a damn. No one. Which is why I made these videos. Which is why I left that Facebook group today. Because no one really gave a damn about the fact that I'm multicultural. No, the guy that I was arguing with, his first name is the same as my last name, and he just wasn't having it. So yeah, Biden's no saint, but neither is Trump. But Trump, make no mistake, he's done this shit out loud in public, and everybody's ignoring it. So I'm making this video for that Facebook group to understand why I left. I didn't leave because I wanted to. I left because I had to. Because if I could reach through a computer screen and choke the shit out of the dude, I probably would have. Which, thank God, that I don't have superpowers, because that would want to be my superpower, so I can travel through electronical waves and currents and take out all the bad guys and all the racist people, and by the time I'm done, we'll all be dead, because everybody has some racist people somewhere in their ethnicity, and we can't weed them all out. It's the same thing with good and bad cops. Firing at will.
Division in the country, and here's what he had to say.
Hey, but let me ask you this. I mean, we share one thing in common. We're white, privileged, my father was a lawyer and a judge in Illinois, and we know what your dad did. And do you have any sense that privilege has isolated and put you in a cave to a certain extent, as it put me, and I think lots of white privileged people, in a cave, and that we have to work our way out of it to understand the anger and the pain particularly black people feel in this country.
You really drank the Kool-Aid, didn't you? Listen to you. Wow. No, I don't feel that at all.
I don't feel that at all. So he doesn't feel any responsibility for what's going on in the country, but I think we already knew that. It's just, yeah.
So, Anna, it wasn't just that he doesn't feel any responsibility. He just doesn't feel that they are discriminated against and that they have that pain and et cetera. I mean, we saw George Floyd happen right in front of our eyes. That's the only one he expressed any degree of fake sympathy towards. The others, he didn't even bother doing fake sympathy. He immediately jumped out and said, "Oh, yeah, the cops are right. The cops are right. You should all bow down to the cops. And no one should ever protest the cops by kneeling in football games, etc." So it's super obvious where his loyalties lie. And no, he just thinks black people have it coming, and he's a monster. But everybody already knew that. And Anna, look, I just want to be super clear, and then I want to say one more thing that's in the book that's really damning. Look, and I was talking about this with NFL legendary enforcer today, who happened to give me the nickname of Sword of the Left, but it's not a big deal. Anyway, the 28% that's MAGA, they're immovable. So don't ever try to move them. It's not that they're voting for Trump despite his racism and stupidity and ignorance and fascism. No, they're voting for him because of that. Sad day that that's 28% of the country, but it is. So, and I take that from polling and on different issues, etc. But right now, Trump is polling anywhere between 42 to 45 in the presidential election. Now, that's terrible for an incumbent, and he's likely to lose, but it's still way, way too high. But that means there is a giant chunk of the country between 28% and 5% that is still movable in one way or another. And so if insulting fallen soldiers and calling them suckers and losers doesn't do it, and if it turns out, his own cabinet saying he's so morally and mentally incapable of leading that we were thinking of ousting him doesn't do it, well, then maybe that 45% is immovable. But my guess is it is to some degree. And the reason why they're still in the middle is because they barely watch the news. They're very, very low consumers of news. So that's why it's important for Mattis and Kelly and others to go in front of a TV camera and make a big deal out of it so it can actually reach people who don't normally follow the news. And finally, from the book, he also apparently did not write one or two love letters to Kim Jong-un. He wrote, they exchanged 27 letters where they're fawning over each other. Kim Jong-un calls Trump his excellency. But way worse, Kim Jong-un brags about how he executed his uncle and gives gory details. And Trump is perfectly happy. After he read that on tape, Trump said that Kim Jong-un and him fell in love. And even today, as late as today, he's like, Kim Jong-un is really healthy. Good to see that. People underestimated him. He's cheering on a dictator, a brutal genocidal dictator. By the way, one that happens to be communist. Right.
Can I read you his exact...
That, it'd be game over.
I got to read you his exact tweet. This was tweeted today. He tweeted, Kim Jong-un is in good health. Never underestimate him, with an exclamation mark. No, the guy is insane. And you're right. Look, it's amazing because the line of attack against China is these are communists, these are dangerous people. And for some reason, Kim Jong-un, who is a brutal dictator, who also functions under, authoritarian rule, but claims to be a communist, that's totally okay. We fell in love. Don't you dare underestimate him. It's kind of incredible.
So that's the power of propaganda, because since the Republican Party started calling it Communist China, now the media is starting to call it Communist China.
Yep.
But they never call it Communist North Korea, so the media never calls it Communist North Korea. I looked at the social media reaction to that tweet, Anna, and you know what the right wing was saying? Well, it turns out he is healthy, so that's true. And what? Do you want us to overestimate him? No, Trump is brilliant. The way that he has complimented Kim Jong-un this way. So there's no end to it. So those, again, don't ever worry about that 28%. They're hopeless. They're on a completely different planet. We couldn't reach them if we tried. So I'll end on a fun note. Izzy Sanchez on YouTube Super Chat says, Anna's look after Cenk says he's celebrating for being called the sword of the left. That was classic.
I didn't even know the camera went to me. Well, that's how I felt.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials.
All right, no more worries. Now, I want to thank the Young Turks because, I watch them. I don't get the chance to watch them like I used to because school has me glued to this fracking damn, this computer. Now I got one more, and it's 10 minutes long. So this will be my longest video, part 1. And I'm telling you, again, I'm sorry, but you don't have to like what I show you. But it's the only way that I can show you how I feel. Because like I said, honestly, truly to God, racism doesn't affect you if it's not your race that's being affected. And most people don't understand how that works. If it's not your race that's being affected, most people, for the life of you, will not know how it feels to be the victim of racism if you aren't on the receiving end of a racist attack. And that's just the way it is. That's what I'm pointing this out as. So to all my YouTube friends and followers that left me because I don't support Trump, these are the videos why. They're on YouTube. You can search them up. I'm not just making this up. I'm not going to random YouTube channels. I literally typed it in, and it literally gave me a channel with that stuff in it. So that being said, I'm going to show you this one from 2015 and all the stuff that he said. You don't have to be offended by it, but I am. So when I post something on my TV or this channel about racism and stuff like that, it's not because I'm picking. I don't discriminate against anyone when I pick a racist video. I've put out Miss Rainbird. I put out a couple of those black serial killers and the guys that murdered transgender women who were of color. I've done a lot of things for different races. And when I do post those videos, it's more or less me saying, today I'm ashamed to be white. Today I'm ashamed to be black. Today I'm ashamed to be a Native American. And if you actually are watching my videos, you would see where I'm coming from with this stuff. It's not just some BS that's coming out of my freaking head that I've just decided, out of the blue, hey, let's just go do this. No. I left a Facebook group because of this crap. Again, I don't care if you voted for him. I need you to understand where I'm coming from. If you voted for him and you're secret racist, that's fine. If you voted for him and you're a full-blown racist, it's fine. But understand the people who are being the victims of this racist stuff that's flying out of this dude's mouth. Understand that it's not affecting you the way it affects me. When he says, they don't look like Indians to me, or Pocahontas, or, what's my favorite? Let's see, what is my favorite? We immigrate up Mexicans, a bunch of murderers and rapists. Immigrants from Haiti, same thing. Oh, we're going to build this wall. Oh, when the immigrants get here, we're going to take their children from them and try to send them back. And then God help DACA. But again, this is my feelings. You don't have to like them. I'm just asking you to respect them. I don't like the fact that you're going to vote for Trump. But in the end, that shouldn't involve our friendships being destroyed. Not over this dumb shit of somebody else who's going to get in the White House and tell another lie. Because every politician, they always set it up to hopefully help people. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, you want to hopefully help the people of your country. And then turn around if the House or the Senate don't stop you because you're a Republican or a Democrat, something else is going to stop you. This is how politics work. But every politician that has come before Trump, not Bush, not Clinton, not the other Bush, not the guy before him, not Reagan, none of them have come out their mouth with the shit that flies out this man's mouth. He literally has diarrhea of the mouth. He doesn't give a damn what he says. He doesn't care whose feeling it hurts. And the people who are following him devotedly and floating behind this guy, are you just like him? That is my question. Are you following him because you need hope? Are you following him because you love your money? Are you following him because you are a racist? Those are the questions. You may not like what I say, but how much of it is not truth? It's my truth because I grew up mixed. I grew up with white people telling me I was a half-breed. I grew up with black people telling me I was a half-breed. And when I got grown is when Native Americans told me I wasn't pure blood. I had a lot of hard shit from black people. But that does not mean I need to hate black people. I had a lot of hard shit from white people, but not as much from black people. But I don't hate white people. I don't hate black people. And I don't hate Native Americans. I don't have that right. Because I am all three of them. I can walk in all three worlds. Maybe not the white world so much because I'm still brown, so my ass is going down. But at that time, I can be in the black community and the Native Americans and whites. But I'm not going to go to them and call them by their racial innuendos, which is why I also had to delete the other video that was 30 minutes long, much like this one. So this is the last video I'm going to talk about. And then I'm going to jump in this suit after I do video 2 for this. I'm going to jump in this suit and make these videos for these kids. And again, I don't care who you voted for, especially if you voted for Trump. I care about your moral compass, because that's the most important thing to me, is your moral compass. Are we morally all just following the motions, or are we about to show our true colors, like the Cyndi Lauper song? I see your true colors shining through, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show, because your true colors are beautiful. This video is 10 minutes long. Brace yourself, because here it comes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. Who's number one with Hispanics? Trump.
Yes, you told
Trump.
us that earlier.
I love the Mexican people in their spirit. But the country of Mexico is killing us. I want to build a wall. I'm going to build a wall. I want to build a wall. We need the wall. And Mexico will pay for the wall. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
And it's really weak to call John McCain a loser because he was a...
I never called him. I don't.
That is outrageous. He's an American hero.
I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to him. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you. And then I watched this idiot Lindsey Graham on television today, and he calls me a jackass. He's a jackass. The man of the toupee. This is on the front page of the New York Times. I don't wear a toupee.
I'll prove once and for all that it's mine, okay? Come. Is it mine? Look. It is. Say it, please.
Yes, I believe it is.
Thank you. I have such respect for women. I cherish women.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only
has
Rosie
several-
O'Donnell. I love the women that faint when I speak. Those are the ones that love me.
No, go ahead, Donald.
No, I'm a gentleman, Hillary. Go ahead. What I say is what I say. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
You brag that you have sexually assaulted women. Do you understand that?
No, I didn't say that at all. I don't think you understood what was said. This was locker room talk. Every woman lied when they came forward to hurt my campaign. Believe me, she would not be my first choice, that I can tell you. You take a look at her words. You tell me what you think. I don't think so. I don't think. All of these liars will be sued after the election is over. I'm going to take such good care of women's health care issues, you won't even believe it.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form. Such a nasty one.
Trust fund.
I have tremendous respect for women.
Have you ever done those
women
things?
Have respect for me. But I'm surging with women. I think Hillary would be a terrible president. Well, I think the only card she has is the woman's card. She's got nothing else going. And frankly, if Hillary Clinton were a man, I don't think she'd get 5% of the vote. She's a world-class liar. Just look at her pathetic email server statements. She's crooked Hillary. Don't you understand that? This is one of the most crooked politicians in history. This is the legacy of Hillary Clinton. Death, destruction, terrorism, and weakness. She's the devil. Hillary Clinton is a bigot. I was going to say something extremely rough to Hillary, to her family, and I said to myself, I can't do it. I just can't do it. If you look at Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
She has tremendous hate in her heart. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? To lose to crooked Hillary Clinton? That would be terrible.
Is there anybody you'd like to apologize to right now yourself?
No.
No?
I think I would probably get along very well with Putin. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. Hillary likes to play tough with Russia. Putin looks at her and he laughs, okay? He laughs.
He'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet. I know nothing about Russia. Talking about Gitmo, right? Guantanamo Bay. Which, by the way, we are keeping open. And we're going to load it up with some bad dudes, believe me. We're going to load it up. Would I approve waterboarding? You bet your ass I'd approve it. You bet your ass. In a heartbeat. And I'd bring back a hell of a lot worse than waterboarding.
Now this is something I don't share often, so you're super special. Pinch yourself, you're not dreaming. I've got a secret pantry in the...
I want surveillance of certain mosques, okay? If that's okay. Because they are recruiting by the thousands. They're leaving our country. And then when they come back, we take them back. Oh, come on back. Where were you? I was fighting for ISIS. Oh, come on back. Go home. Enjoy yourself. I will absolutely take database on the people coming in from Syria if we can't stop it, but we're going to. I've made it known, if I win, they're going back. ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS. Okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. If you're on a sports team Most Valuable Player, MVP. You get the MVP award. ISIS will hand her the Most Valuable Player award.
I thought I heard a little voice over there. Take him out. Take him out. Get him out of here.
Oh, throw him the hell out of here. Am I allowed to rip that whistle out of the mouth? I'd rip that. Go home to mommy. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. I don't throw babies out, believe me. I love babies. Actually, I was only kidding. You can get the baby out of here. They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier. If I become president, we're all going to be saying Merry Christmas again. That I can tell you. If you look at North Korea, this guy, he's like a maniac.
I'm sorry, that Purple Heart shit went too far.
That's a famous Mussolini quote. You retweeted it. You like the quote? Did you know it was Mussolini?
It's okay to know it's Mussolini. Look, Mussolini was Mussolini. It's okay to talk. It's a very good quote. It's a very interesting quote. I mean, I'm just talking about David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan here in case. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know David Duke. I don't believe I've ever met him. I'm pretty sure I didn't meet him, and I just don't know anything about him.
Do you plan to visit with the Pope when he comes into Philadelphia?
Well, the Pope believes in global warming. You do know that, right? Hey, in this room, it's so hot in here, maybe I'll start to believe it myself. This room is hot. Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. Oh, I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. Whoever the hell brought this mic system, built the son of a bitch to put it in, I'll tell you. This thing. No, this mic is terrible. The stupid mic keeps popping. Nevada. And you know what I said? You know what I said? I said when I came out here, I said, nobody says it the other way. It has to be Nevada. He said I had small hands. Actually, I'm 6'3", not 6'2", but he said I had small hands. They're not small, are they? I never heard that one before. Donald Trump has small hands. So I said, small hands. These guys know. I hit a ball 280 yards. Stand up. My club champion. Stand up. Do I hit the ball good? Do I hit it long? Is Trump strong? Huh? He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee. Okay. I think we should take a drug test prior to the debate. My mic was defective.
Did that explain the sniffles then?
Did you see where Biden wants to take me to the back of the barn? Me. He wants it. I'd love that. I'd love that. Mr. Tough Guy. So I spent a long time this morning on making my shoes so beautiful, so shiny. And then I walked through more dusty floors than I've ever seen in my life.
These declassified documents reveal the extent to which the FBI views the FISA spy war.
Thank you, Anthony Weiner. It's a rigged system. The system is totally rigged and broken. This system is rigged. We're competing in a rigged election. This is a rigged election.
That you will absolutely accept the result of this election.
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time.
Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit to that principle?
What I'm saying is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense. I will totally accept the results of this great and historic presidential election if I win. There's never been anything like this. So go and register. Make sure you get out and vote November 28th.
Stay tuned for the second video. Sorry for the overkill.